Welcome back. Well, this is normally the segment where we do our Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort head-to-head featuring two Midco personalities. But on this Friday, we have a special edition of the segment with some Dakota Marker flair. So I'm joined by Hank McCall, who played defensive back at South Dakota State from 2001 to 2005, and Trevor Gebhart, a wide receiver for North Dakota State from 2010 to 2014. Also, Hank serves as our color analyst for SDSU football games, and Trevor has been doing some color as well this year on Midco SN. And all three of us will be on the broadcasts on Saturday, so technically these are two Midco personalities right here. Anywho, a Jackrabbit defensive back, a Bison wideout. They never had to go one-on-one on the field, but today they kind of will. So we're going to get some different viewpoints on a few questions I have for you two, similar to head-to-head, but more so of a discussion. So Hank, we're going to start with you. Who has the better stadium, NDSU or SDSU?
Well, Kelly, I think when you look at that question, there's a key word in there, and that is stadium. And SDSU obviously has implemented some very nice new facilities. Everybody's very excited about that. The Bison faithful are going to get a chance to check out this weekend. But when you look at the two, there's only real one stadium because the Bison, they play in an arena, if you ask me, not outdoors where football's meant to be played. And last I checked, they do still play 11 on 11. It is still real football, but it's more of an arena setting. So I'm going with Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium all day.
Oh, man. All right, Trevor, what do you think?
Well, in my opinion, a dome still counts as a stadium. That season sells out, or excuse me, that stadium sells out the whole season. Within minutes, the tickets go on sale to the public. The Thunderstruck entrance, it's the best entrance in the Missouri Valley. It's hard to argue against that. And I think having 18,000 plus screaming fans, whether you think it's a tin box or not, trumps a half-empty stadium every day of the week.
Ooh, remember, rebuttals are allowed in this one, guys. So, if you have anything?
Nope, we'll move on to the next one.
We'll move on, all right. Okay, this one is it's a nicer question, but Hank, starting with you, the most memorable moment for you personally in this rivalry?
Without a doubt, the very first Dakota Marker game back in 2004, my junior year. One of the best football games I was ever had a chance to be a part of as a player. Outdoors at Coffin Alumni Stadium, not Dana J. Dykehouse, so way back in the day, if I may. But Jackrabbits were able to come out victorious in that one. Heck of a game, two good football teams. Last second win by SDSU. My guy, Chris Molitor, broke 8 tackles to go into the end zone and put the Jackrabbits up with less than a minute to go. It's a game me and my boys will never forget.
All right, Trevor?
Well, I'm actually surprised he didn't go with the 07 game, which I was at. My future Bison faithful lost in that game. But I'm going to reference a 76-yard, 8-play, 2 minutes and 18-second drive. Not exactly a Dakota Marker game, but that is in reference to the very last drive of the 2014 playoff game, which was my senior year, the last time I got to play the Jacks. Very memorable moment for me, as a lot of people that I know were in attendance, and very, very special day, very special moment.
All right, well, very cool. All right, another nice question. From your perspective, guys, what makes this rivalry special, Hank?
I think it has to do primarily with the history of both programs. This rivalry dates back to early in the 20th century. These teams have gone back and forth. For the most part, it's kind of swayed one way, but not too bad. It's been a good rivalry dating back to Division II days and continued to be one as we transition to Division I. And I think when you really look at things during the transition, 2004, 2005, 2006, and so on, really, these two schools, we were all that we had at the time. There was no opportunity to play for a national championship. We had a makeshift conference. We were in it together, and along with the trophy that they threw in there, it was really a good way to really continue to see this rivalry continue to grow and progress between the two schools.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, Trevor, what do you think?
Well, Hank made the reference to the jump to Division I in 2004, and I think that is really what ignited the rivalry. Both schools made the jump at the same time and lost their interstate rival for the better part of a decade there, even beyond a decade. And those two teams had to play each other, had to battle together, making that jump to Division I. And then more recently, the Bison dominated for the better part of a decade, but with SDSU's win in 2016, I think that came at a good time, to make it a quote-unquote rivalry where you have back and forth and both teams are winning. So I think playing for the Marker, making the jump together, and I think the deeper and the more these teams play, and not to mention, completely forgot about the playoff matchups, is when the stakes and the chips are all on the table, and it's win or go home. I definitely think that, quote unquote, put some bad blood between the two schools, and but it's a fun rivalry, and I've enjoyed thoroughly every minute of it.
Yeah, obviously the Dakota Marker game is very fun, but these two talented programs seeing each other in the playoffs a lot, so very cool. But our last two questions might get a little heated, guys. Starting with question number 4. Hank, who will be the MVP tomorrow and why?
Well, we're going to see two very good football teams on Saturday. One team that really has struggled to find its way this season in SDSU, but over the last couple of weeks has played some of their best football of 2017 and really appear to be trending in the right direction as they make their push towards the playoffs. NDSU has really picked things back up from what they would consider a disappointing season last year, coming off of just 2 losses, but obviously falling short of their 6th straight national championship. I think that this Saturday, I think that there's a good potential for a defender to actually be the MVP of this ball game. We're going to have one excellent defense, another in NDSU, another defense that's still trying to figure things out. But I think for SDSU, in order for them to win this game, it's going to take a defender like a Christian Roseboom to do what he normally does as far as 12-plus tackles a game, but also to find a way to make a big play in the form of a turnover that could sway the end result of this game.
Yeah, momentum could play a huge role in this one. Roseboom obviously having a great year. So Trevor, who do you think is going to be MVP?
Well, I'm going to reference a guy who would have the best name in hockey if he played that sport, but he takes snaps for the Bison. He wears number 12, and his name is Easton Stick. He's 3rd on the team in rushing, and he has 5 touchdowns, second only to Lance Dunn. He averages 8.2 yards a rush. He can throw a pretty pass. He can get first downs with his feet, and I think his play on the field is going to be critical for them getting a win. He's 28-2 as a starter. He's a proven winner. I don't know if any more needs to be said. I think Easton Stick comes out being MVP after Saturday's game.
All right, we'll have to see tomorrow. Finally, this is the best question of all of them. Who wins tomorrow and why, Hank?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of potential for a lot of plays to be made this weekend. I don't think points are going to be flying all over the board. In years past, when we have seen a lot of points up on the board, it hasn't necessarily been all that advantageous for the Jackrabbits. So I do expect a close game Saturday. I expect this SDSU offense to actually maybe continue to get things going against arguably the best defense in the country in NDSU. But I do think the Jackrabbits do pull out a close win at home, which will mark the first loss of the season for NDSU and really continue to springboard the Jackrabbits towards their playoff push.
Well, I wonder who Trevor is going to pick. Let's hear it.
I don't think there's any type of secret of who I'm picking. I'm obviously picking the Bison, and I actually have a prop to go along with it.
Oh, man.
I don't know how relevant it is to my pick itself, but reason number 1, you can kind of see it there. The Bison defense, they've only allowed 30 points in the second half this whole season, and that's without preseason All-American Greg Menard. This team, and kind of referencing to my last point with that one, but this team rallies around its defense, and I think they stopped that 3-headed monster in Jake Winicky, Dallas Goddard, and of course Taryn Christian. Reason number 2, the ground attack. Their rushing game is their bread and butter. Add to it, is their bread and butter, and I think having the ball on the field, getting first downs with their rushing attack is going to provide for a victory. Number 3, plenty of motivation. These players always have plenty of motivation. Getting that 75-pound rock back is definitely one of them. So that's reason number 3. And then reason number 4, culture. This culture, those players expect to win. They know they're going to win, and that is why I'm picking the Bison.
Wow, 4 reasons and 4 props. Well, good arguments, guys. Not picking a winner today between you two. That'll be decided on the field tomorrow. But anywho, thanks for coming in. Again, if you can't make it to Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium tomorrow, you can catch the game live right here on Midco SN. Pre-game show starts at 1:30 with the kickoff at 2. Tom Neiman, Hank McCall, and Carla Metz on the call with Trevor Gebhart and I on for the pre-game show, as well as a little halftime and post-game show action as well. When we come back, see what the Twitterverse has to say about the Dakota Marker and learn a little more about the namesake of this game and the trophy itself. That's coming up on Midco Sports tonight.